Hello, today we will build a data table with using NgRx. This is a stored manager, and also here we have sorting, and sorting has three states like ascendant, descendant, and default state. So you can sort like this, and you can sort by different names, by name or by city. And let's begin. Let's generate our project. New data table. Yes, we choose a CSS. Now we need to go into our data table folder, so cd data table, and we will install our dependencies, our NgRx there. So first of all we need to install our store, so let's copy this command. Now we need to install our NgRx DevTools. Also, we will not use NgRx effects in this video. We will use only service to get our data from service, but this is a very good feature. So if you are working with side effects, you need to use NgRx effects. Also, we install our schematics. We need the installation. And we will install view. So it's like NgRx component, because I want to use this let directive, and if you can check documentation, and you can see that with this directory you can get error, and if observable is complete, and you can get this all in your template and do spinner or show only error. So I think it's a good feature. So let's install this as well. Let's add Bootstrap 5 and Bootstrap icons to our project. So we need our index.html file, and we add our styles, and this one is our icons. So let's save it. Now we can start our project. Let's clean our app component file, so we don't need this all, and let's check if we can use Bootstrap styles. Let's add class text center, so this is Bootstrap class, and add this typo. So when we save it, we can see this is Bootstrap style fonts, and our text is centered, so our Bootstrap styles are working. Now let's set up our store. Let's create folder NgRx and call it NgRx, and we create our root store module. Also we create a folder with our data table, and here we keep our feature store for our data table store. Let's create data table actions. Also reducers. Also we need selector, and we need our module itself. First of all, let's create our models folder. So models, and we create file our model, and we have two interfaces. This is our data table state, this will be our table data, and sort direction and sort key, and this will be our header table. So this will be our display name, key, and has sort. So we will do our animation when you toggle these buttons because of this. So let's save it for now. Let's add our actions. So we need to import create action and props from NgRx store. Also we need to create our action. We create this enum. So first will be set data table. So this will be our when we dispatch our data to our store, and later when user click sorting on ascendant or descendant, and we will set up our sort key and reset data table when we destroy our component. We will clear our store. So we have these three actions, and let's add this. So we have props data, so this for now to be any, because we can have different data. This is reusable data table, and sort key, this will be a string. It has parameters sort key. Also, when we reset data table, we create action with reset data table store without any parameters. So let's save it. Now we need to set up our reducer. So we need to import action create reducer and on from NgRx store. We need to create our initial state. So it will be object with table data, which is array, sort direction and sort key. It has a model of data table state. Also we have our data table feature key, which we name like this, and we set up our reducer with create reducer, and this will be our initial state, and we create function data table reducer which takes two parameters state and action and return our reducer. So let's add more reducers now. So first of all we will set up our state with our array of data. So now we need our actions set data, this one our actions, and we return our state, and we set table data with data, like we can see here. It will be our array of data. Second, what we need to do is set up our sort key. So our sort key, so when we press on name or city, this is our key, city sort key or sort by name, so we keep track of this, and we make it to lowercase. Also we create a variable sort direction, and if sort key not equals state sort key, so if we click on, for example, name, and it's already has city here, so it's another one, and we need, so when we have name and we press on city, we see it's already animation, it's sorting by accident. But if you press on name again, we have different animation, it goes down. So for this we need to check it, and we change sort direction. In another way, we set sort direction to, we're using this function with parameter state sort direction with our current sort direction, and we change it, and we use this one like helper function, and we have switch case, and if it's ascendant we change it to descendant, and if descendant we change it to empty string, and we have three cases like this. It's empty string, we change it to ascendant. So that's why we need this, and we need to return our state, we need to return our sort key and sort direction, and our set function will be reset of our states, so we just return our initial state, which will be empty table data, empty sort direction, and empty sort key. Now let's set up our selectors. So what are selectors? So when you can see in the documentation, so selectors are helper function for optimizing selection, and you can read what benefit it gives you, and we can use it in our project. So first of all, we do imports of create selector and create feature selector. We import our model, and we import our reducers. So first of all, we need to create selector of our feature store, which is data table. So it will give back us this all object of our data table. Now we need to do slices of our state. So this is our sort direction. So it has two parameters and return state sort direction. Next one is sort key. We have back our sort key and our data itself. And now we create our another selector, select sorted data, which takes in parameter our three selectors, this one, and we can have this all as values, and we can do something with this and return another value. So we check if sort direction equal empty, so we just simply return our data. In another way, we sort our data. We have param A and param B, and we have our sort key, and we have function compare, which is simply sort with our sort direction. So if A more than B, and sort direction equal accident, we return 1. In other case -1. So, and opposite to this one, and return 1, no, null. So when we sort our data, we return our compare function. This is just simply native JavaScript method, and we just return our sorted data, And that's it. We will subscribe on our select sorted data, and we will get our sorted data depends on these values. So I think this is very powerful tool, the selectors, when you can combine them, and very easy to do your logic, make it reactive style, but it looks like native JavaScript. Now we need set up our model for feature store. So we add our store model, and we import our reducer. We connect a store model, but this time we use for feature, not for root. And we have our feature key and our reducer itself. Now let's import our data table module in our root store module. We import it before DevTools. And we need to import our root store module in our app module. And if you can see, when you press on our plugin of Redux DevTools, and when you click on state, we have our data table. So our store is connected, and we can see it in our DevTools. So now we need to create our data service, so we can get our data from server and set it in our store. But before this, we need to import HTTP client module and reactive component module to use our NgRx let directive, and HTTP client module we need to use HTTP to get data from server. So we need to add these two imports and HTTP client module, and let's create folder services and create our data service TS. We will use JSON placeholder to get our data from server. So in response we'll get array of objects with users like this one. So now we need to import injectable HTTP client, and injectable provided in root. Also we have this our URL to get users, and we do dependency injection of our HTTP client. We create method get data and return do get to this URL, and we modify our data, our response. We use a map operator from NgRx, and we just simply add one more key, city, and we get it from our item other city. Now we need to import our data service, and we create our data variable. It has type observable any, array of any, and we do dependency injection of our data service. This is our header row. It has display name ID, key ID, and has sort. So when you see our data table, we have this name. This is our display name, ID, name, username, city. So this is what we actually see. But for example, when we want to do sort by, our display name can be different from our object key. So key itself, it is ID, name. It can be something like name with some extra characters. We don't know what we will get from server. but we want to display this one, and it's easier for us to sort it properly and set up. And it has sort true or false. It means that we want to have this button and sort logic only on name and city, because only name and city has true. So now we have this our data, and we get our data service get data, and we started from null with null, and I need this to get spinner to our my component, so we can track from the initially it starts from null, and later it gets some array of data. Let's create our components for spinner, error, and data table to make our app component cleaner. So let's create components folder, and I use plugin schematics Angular, and we create generate component. So will be spinner, and it will be default component. We add more option, and we skip tests. Skip test true, confirm. Okay, we have spinner. Now we need another one, error, and skip tests. Okay, and data table itself. So we default component, and again skip tests. Okay, true, and press confirm. So we have this component, and they are imported in our module, app module. So this will be our components. So error component will be simply deal with this text. You can of course add some input and do dynamic text, but I will keep it simple. And this is bootstrap classes for our alert. We save it for our spinner. We also using bootstrap classes. It makes its own center, our spinner, and we set our color for our spinner and width and height. So let's save it, and now in our app component HTML we can use it. So let's use this NgRx let directive to subscribe and get our data. So we create ng container, and we add this NgRx let, and this is our observable, and we have our data, and we can get error from our observable. Also we create containers. This is bootstrap class, and we add row, and we have our column. So we add ng if error is false and data is false, we have our spinner. So we have our error if error is true. So up error, this is our error component, and we have our table. So if data is true, so it's because, as we remember, we have null from the beginning. So if it's true, we have up the data table. So when we save it, so this directive is good because you have this error, because if you use only ngIf, you don't have this error, and also GIF won't render your data if it's false. So that's why this one is good. And when we save it, we can check, we can see data table works, but if we quickly reload it, we can see spinner in the center. So now if we do error and we go in our service and we do some error, we can see we have our error. So spinner, and later data has nothing, just get error, and we can see it works. It is working. So take it back, and now we need to work with our data table itself. So first of all, we need to add input, import observable, and we need to import our models, and also we need to import our store and actions and selectors. So our data and header row we will do as input. Also we need to create three variables like sort direction, sort key, and data table, table data. It has observable string and observable string and observable any. So actually it will be an array of any. And we need to do dependency injection of our store. Now we need to do dispatch of our data. So this store, dispatch, and table data action, set data, and we have our data which we get from input. Now we need to set our selectors. This table data selector, and we have our sort key and sort direction. So we select to get our data. Also, when component will be destroyed, we want clear our store, so we use this action and reset data table store. Also, we will have a method on sort when user click, and we will get our header item, so it will be our object. And if header item has sort false, so actually we don't need to do anything, so we just return. And in other case, sort key will be header item key, and we pass as a property to our store sort key. So we use this action. So let's save. Also we need to add on destroy and implements on destroy, and let's go to our component HTML and add, we need to add this inputs. So this is our data which we have from here, and if data is true we render this component, and header row we have it here with these all properties. Now in our data table component we create our table. Also we have our table header, and we do loop of our header row, header item of header row, and we have click on sort item, and we choose this header item, and actually we have our header item display name. Let's save it. And I have error because my internet was disconnected. So now we have our table header with ID, name, username, and city. And now we have block with sort. So this is ng if header item has sort, and if it's true we render it, if not we don't. And it has two icons. One icon, it is carried up, and we have this class sort header active. We will write it soon. So it is true, we display this class if sort direction equal to ascendant and header item key equal to sort key. As so we use async pipes to get our values, and this sort direction and sort key we have here from our selectors, sort key and sort direction. So we will add this class. Also we have another icon which has similar, but here we have descendant, and if we save it, well, we will add some CSS styles. We can see this name and city has sort true, and we have these icons. So now we have table body, and we have row of table data. So this is from our selector, which goes from our store. This table data, and we simply loop through four values: ID, name, username, and city. And if we save it, we have our data, because we dispatch it to our store from input, and we use it in our template. So let's add some styles. So our table header has cursor pointer and user select none. So when you click on sort up and down, it will not select some text. So you don't need to do this, but I don't like it. So this is our B class, and it's simply our icons. You can see it has some bootstrap classes, and I use it to add my styles, and just add some simple styles. And our sort header active has this color, so this is sort header active. And when you click on by name, you see CE and last one P. Also we have by descendant, and we have default one when it is like we got from server. So we can sort now by three different directions, and same when we can press on city and sort by city as well. So that's it. Thank you for watching. See you soon.